Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Today I want to talk about the importance of being wrong. Why would anyone think that it's important to be wrong? Because mostly, as people, we like to be right and we feel it's important to be right because being right um, is part of what contributes to our success as human beings, mainly because being right about something also means that you are, for that moment anyway, in the winning lane. And so, why would anyone, come along and say, you know what, um, it's important, to be wrong? And I'm going to tell you why that is very, very important. You see, when any one of us does any action that results in naturally a consequence, and we find that the consequence is less desirable, or you know is not the consequence or the effect that we actually wanted, we then, often many of us, we brush it off, right, and we walk on. Okay, and that's it. We carry on with our lives. But there's one very, very important step that we ought to be taking before we dust ourselves off and before we carry on. And that is evaluation. Okay? We have to ask ourselves, where did we go wrong? Okay? And why is that important? Because when we do that, when we evaluate our actions and we analyze how we got to where we got to, we are able to adjust our behavior, and we are able to consciously choose to act in different ways. Now, this behavior adjustment invariably happens naturally in human beings. So when people have a negative experience, for example, when a child puts his hand in the fire and he burns, he naturally learns not to do it again. And so there are many instances where you would naturally learn from having suffered a negative consequence for whatever particular action you've committed. Okay, but this is not enough for true advancement, because unconscious evolution of behavior does not distinguish us in any way as human beings from other species, because it is obviously minus the cognitive function, minus your rational ability, which is really the true mainstay of our species. This. So when we stop after, we fall on our asses, and we stay there and think about it for a bit before we get up and dust ourselves off, we are able to evaluate where we went wrong. And evaluating where we went wrong is often to admit that we went wrong. And in admitting that you went wrong, in admitting that you've been defeated, in admitting that you've made mistakes, you are now able to become a winner in the long run. Okay? A fool is he who falls in the same hole twice, right? Because it means that he didn't pay attention to, having fallen in the hole the first time around. And so what's important then, guys, ladies and gentlemen, is to evaluate the results of your decisions. Do a debriefing with yourself, and make mental notes about where you have gone wrong so that you can evolve and grow as a human being. Because ultimately, the best school is the school of life. Thank you very much.